What are tariffs? Imagine an ant colony living in harmony. Everything feels simple. The paths are open, the nest works, each ant knows what to do. They wake up, walk, work, and return. There is no rush, there is no tension. The system feels stable, till something catches everyone's attention at the same time. Sweet leaves start to appear. They do not show up everywhere. They do not show up all the time. They are special. They are desired. At first, nothing changes. Each ant takes one when it finds one. Some eat right there. Others carry them back to the nest. Everything feels fair. Everything feels natural. But as time passes, something becomes clear without anyone needing to explain it. There are not enough sweet leaves for everyone at the same time. Some arrive early. Others arrive late. Some return with nothing. It is at this moment that something invisible begins to exist. Value. The leaves did not change. The ants did not change. What changed was the relationship between how much exists and how much is desired. When something is rare and desired, it starts to matter more. This matters because value does not come from a decision. It comes from scarcity. This story will help you understand how these dynamics work in the real world, which is why it is worth following the channel and saving the video. That way, you keep seeing this kind of simple and visual explanation whenever a new video appears. Now imagine that only one thing changes in this environment. Heavy rain falls for many days. Part of the sweet leaves is lost. Another part rots. The ants remain the same. They still need the leaves, but the environment has changed. Suddenly, they walk more. They observe more. They compete for space on the paths. They start storing leaves when they find them. Not because they became worse, not because they became selfish, but because the context changed. When something becomes harder to obtain, decisions change on their own. Behavior follows the environment, always. What just happened has a simple name: scarcity. When something important exists in a smaller amount than people want, it becomes more valuable. It is not a written rule. It is a natural reaction of the system. Now think of another scenario. The leaves continue to exist. They keep growing. Nothing changed about the resource itself, but a path collapses. A route becomes blocked. Reaching the leaves becomes slower and more exhausting. The result is the same. Fewer leaves reach the colony. Notice how important this is. The effect does not depend on a single cause. Sometimes the resource is missing. Sometimes the resource exists, but access becomes difficult. For the system, the reason matters very little. It reacts to the result. Less circulation creates higher perceived value, always. With fewer leaves arriving, tensions begin to appear. The ants need a way to organize exchanges. They create something new, small shiny grains. These grains are not used for eating. They are not used for building. They are used only for trading. Whoever brings leaves receives grains. Whoever wants leaves gives grains. At first, this seems to solve everything. Exchanges become clearer, less confusion, less direct conflict. But soon another pattern appears. When there are few grains circulating, each grain is worth a lot. A small amount gets many leaves. When the grains start spreading too much, the effect reverses. The grains lose strength. More grains are needed to get the same leaf. The value is not in the shine of the grain. It is in the quantity relative to what exists to trade. Whenever leaves become harder to get, something quiet changes inside the colony. The grains begin to carry a different weight, a different meaning. The ants notice this almost without thinking. They do not stop to debate. They feel it, and they react. They start storing more grains than before. They try to trade earlier. They try to get ahead of the next squeeze, not because someone told them to, but because the environment pushed them in that direction. If nothing structural changes, the pattern repeats. The system enters a predictable cycle, not because it was planned, but because it always reacts the same way to the same signals. Fewer leaves circulating create more pressure. More pressure changes the value of the grains. When the value of the grains changes, behavior changes with it. Decisions become more defensive, more careful. The cycle does not stop on its own. It simply feeds itself, returns to the start, and keeps spinning. Over time, the limit of the system begins to appear. If no path is rebuilt and no new leaf appears, the grains stop doing their job well. They no longer organize everything. Exchanges become slower, more tiring. Each interaction requires more attention, more calculation. The system does not break all at once. It does not explode. It does not collapse in a dramatic way. It simply becomes heavy. Everything takes longer. Each trade consumes more energy. Each decision feels harder than before, till, little by little, the flow gets stuck. Not because something suddenly went wrong, but because nothing essential was adjusted along the way. Now step out of the colony for a moment and leave the ants aside. Imagine the same system happening outside the nest. Leaves become products. Paths become routes, ports, roads, means of transportation. Grains become money. The logic stays the same, only the setting changes. Tariffs work like obstacles placed in the path. Like broken trails that force longer and more exhausting detours. They do not make products disappear out of nowhere. They still exist somewhere. What changes is access. It becomes slower, more expensive, more difficult. When that happens, fewer products circulate. Less circulation changes prices. Different prices change how people behave. Decisions become more cautious, more defensive, more calculated. This is not distant theory or abstract talk. It is the same pattern the ants live through, repeated every day outside the nest, affecting real choices, real exchanges, and real systems. Whenever something becomes rarer or harder to access, it tends to become more valuable. Not because of judgment, because of consequence. The system works when structure follows reality, when paths exist, when access flows. It begins to fail when people try to solve everything only by creating more symbols of exchange, more grains, more promises. The ants are not good or bad. They simply respond to the environment. And maybe this is the most important part of the whole story. The ants did not invent anything new. They just show, in a simple way, what already happens around us every day. If this made sense to you, like and share. And in the next video, already on the screen, we are going to show what a credit card is. I will see you there.